Hello everyone, my name is Harit, and today I'm excited to present my project, SQL Playground, a modern, interactive learning and practice environment for SQL in real time that I've developed using React, TypeScript, and Firebase. The project aims to make learning SQL accessible, engaging, and practical for users of all skill levels. Let's face it, SQL is one of the most fundamental skills in tech, especially for developers, data analysts, and anyone working with database. But learning it can be dry and challenging because traditional learning resources often lack interactive components. Setting up local database environments is pretty much time consuming, and finding practical problems to solve requires jumping between multiple resources. SQL Playground addresses these challenges, providing a powerful all in one platform where users can learn SQL concepts, write queries, view results instantly, and visually explore database schemas, practice with real databases, and save their work, all in a user friendly interface. Yes, this isn't just a code editor, it's a learning tool with tutorials, challenges, and query history tracking. It's designed to support learners from beginner to advanced level. The goal of this project is to simulate a real-world SQL experience in the browser. I wanted to create something that's as close as possible to working with an actual DBMS, but with all the benefits of a guided learning environment. Let me explain the role of database in my project. Coming to database architecture, we have two databases. First of all, we have our application database that stores user information preferences, saved queries and history, progress tracking for tutorials and challenges, and custom scheme configuration. Secondly, we have our sandbox databases that users interact with. These are SQLite instances that allow users to execute queries in real time. Each user gets isolated database environments to practice without affecting others. I've also pre-populated these databases with realistic datasets for practice. Users can also import their own schemas for customized learning. At the heart of SQL Playground is the SQLite tree database. It acts as the engine where all the user-written queries are executed. Every time you write a query and hit run, it's sent to the backend, a Node.js server using Express, which is hosted on Railway. It executes against the SQLite database and returns on results. So essentially, the database powers both the learning experience and the technical functionality behind the scenes. I've also used Firebase authentication to securely handle user login, registration, and email verification. This makes sure that each user's data, like saved queries or even progress, is safe, sound, and isolated. All backend interactions like saving or executing a query are exposed via well-structured RESTful APIs. Coming to why this project matters. So there's a growing demand for SQL in every domain, from software development to business analytics. But the gap between tutorials and real practice tools is wide. SQL Playground bridges that gap by giving learners a fun, visual, and interactive way to write SQL, understand relational schemas, and improve with feedback. It also helps educators as they can share challenges, monitor student progress, and focus on conceptual clarity instead of setup and debugging. My approach to teaching SQL is based on these three principles. 1. Learn by doing. Users can immediately apply what they learn through interactive exercises. 2. Progressive challenges. Content is structured from basic to advanced concepts. 3. Real world relevance. My examples and challenges reflect actual business scenarios. So I've designed learning paths that guide users from basic select commands all the way to complex joins, subqueries, and performance optimization. Each step builds on previous knowledge while providing immediate feedback. Now let's walk through the workflow. First comes user authentication. The app starts with user authentication, which is user registration or login. Firebase handles the authentication securely, and users need to verify their email before getting access to the main app. Security is a priority, so I've implemented email verification requirements and password strength requirements along with secure session management. Once verified, users are redirected to the main editor dashboard. So now next comes the interactive SQL editor. So here's the core feature, the interactive SQL editor, which is powered by Monaco editor, the same editor used in VS Code. You get syntax highlighting, error checking, and real-time result display. Write your SQL code and hit run. If there's a syntax issue, it's highlighted way before the query even hits the backend. Next comes schema viewer. Understanding table structures is crucial in SQL. That's why I have a built-in schema viewer that visually represents table relationships, columns, data types, and more. You can even import export schemas, which makes it super flexible for practicing on custom datasets. You can save your queries, mark favorite, and revisit them in your history tab. This way your practice sessions are always organized. And if you want to share your work as well or ask for help, there's always query sharing feature as well. Coming to learning tools, this section is where structured learning happens. There are step-by-step tutorials, challenges are categorized by difficulty, and hands-on experiences that test understanding. There is progress tracking to help users continue where they left off. Once you solve a challenge, your solution is validated, and performance metrics are shown to help you improve. Coming to user customization, SQL Playground adapts to user preferences such as theme customization with dark and light modes, editor preferences like font size and tab width, schema management where users can import their own database schemas, and account settings for profile management. Coming to key features, there's secure login powered by Firebase, real-time SQL editor which provides syntax highlighting, visual schema viewer which is powered by D3.js, and a functionality to save or share queries. Coming to tech stack, the frontend is built with React and TypeScript, style using Material UI, maintaining responsiveness across devices, and animations with Creamer Motion. For data visualizations, I use D3.js to create interactive schema diagrams that help users understand the database relationships. The backend is an Express.js server running Node.js using SQLite 3 for query execution and Firebase for authentication and user management. We also use Bykrypt.js for password hashing and Access for HTTP client. Everything is connected with secure API calls and development is handled using environmental variables and modular structures. Coming to challenges and drawbacks. The first challenge is query security. As of now, any user can enter any query which can harm the system. And second, limited support. As of now, the project supports only SQLite, so features for a PostgreSQL and MySQL will be implemented in the near future. Performance issues. For small queries, it takes considerable large amount of time to execute. For large queries, it might take even more. And the main feature, multi-user real-time collaboration. As of now, live collaboration is not implemented yet. It will be a near future feature. So as I mentioned the challenges, future plans are corresponding to that. First is security improvement. Second is adding features such as PostgreSQL and MySQL. Third is considering to add educator dashboards to implement role-based authentication, separate mentor database and student database. And fourth is to implement this as a SaaS model, which will be deployed commercially. So thank you for listening to me right now, until now. Now let's just go into the GitHub repo for the demonstration of the workflow. After pressing the link on the GitHub link, this is where you get redirected to, and this is where the code exists. And this code is hosted on Vercel. As you can see, this is the link to the project, sql-playground-5.vercel.app. And this is the dashboard of the Vercel. So user gets treated with this front page. So you can also change the theme from light to dark or dark to light over here. As we don't have an account, let's just sign up. I will sign up using my personal mail. After pressing sign up, you'll be redirected to this page where it says to verify your email. And as you can see, I'm pressing tutorials, challenges, or playground. It's not able to access because I have not verified my mail yet. Let me verify my mail yet. Then there we go. This is the link to verify your email. So now that my email has been verified, if I refresh the page, there we go. This is the SQL editor. This is the results panel, and this is the database schema. So for demonstration, let me just create a movies table. So as we can see, after creating a user, it automatically gets into the database of Firebase in a minute now. There we go. The query execution depends on your internet. So if the internet is slow, it's going to take more time. And here we go. We got movies database schema over here. Exactly whatever we have entered. Now let's just put some sample entries. This API calls is being done from Railway. I'll just show this as well. So this is the API call link for running the SQL command. Let me just show you the list of results. As it says, query executed successfully. 5 rows affected and last inserted ID is 5. So let's just see if it has actually inserted it or not. This is one of the challenges of the project. So here we go. We can see the results which we have been adding it as a sample data entries. Now we can export or import. Let's just export it for now. So as we can see, there's a state downloaded, and we'll be importing it soon in the later stage. Let me also show the feature about history. So this is query history, as I mentioned in my PPT. So it shows the query and the time at which it was executed. So here I can copy them as well. It makes it unique from the MySQL client CLI. Also, if you're executing a lot of queries, say 100 or 200, so you want to favorite one of the queries of them, so you just save them. Let's say I save this as select command. And now if I press on save, I'll be able to see the command. I can copy it, or if I don't like it, I can delete as well. Now let's just try to implement another theme. This is a theme which changes the SQL editor query results and the database schema. It's pretty much flexible. So if I press on add theme, let's just name it as test. See the editor, let's just keep the editor's color as red, schema's color as light blue, results color as magenta, background as green, and text as yellow. After pressing save, the theme gets saved, and now I can implement it as well. So we can also edit the theme as well, or if we don't like, we can delete it as well. For now, let's just switch back to default dark. One more thing I would like to show is if I log out and log back in, and if I use a wrong password, it says error because the password is invalid. So now, as we can see, the test still exists, so it hasn't been deleted yet. And also, we also have the movies database schema as well. Takes some time to load over in the database schema, but it is in the database. To prove that, there we go. Takes some time to load, but it is there. So once this gets executed, I'll just move on to tutorial section. So there we go. Now in the tutorial section, there are many tutorials ranging from beginner level, intermediate level to advanced level. So every tutorial has a similar structure, example query and a practice editor. So here we have a tutorial over here, and then we have two sections, inner join and left join. If you press on next, we get to the second part of the tutorial. And if you press on finish, it goes back to the tutorial section. Some have two, some have four. For example, SQL debugging has four. So if you keep pressing next, we are on logical error detection. We can also go back by pressing the back button, back to syntax error detection. So if we keep pressing next, here we go back to tutorials. So this is the tutorial section. More tutorials to be added in the near future. Coming to challenges, the only difference between challenges and tutorials is that there is no example over here. So here we have a problem statement, here we have a hint, and then we have a show solution button. So implementation of this would be after 3 or 4 tries, the show solution button should be visible, and that will be implemented in the near future. So here we can just press on show the solution, and then it will show the solution. And we can go back to challenges if we wish to. So there are a lot of challenges over here. Every challenge has a similar structure. Now coming to dashboard. So this is the dashboard. The theme also can be modified over here, light and dark. Here I have my email, my last login, and the option to change my password or contribute. This navbar is about the developer, which is me, my portfolio, my link, GitHub, my LinkedIn, my Insta, and my email. This shall be moved into another page in the contribute soon. So in the change password functionality, you enter the current password, email password, and you get the password change. For example, if I enter the wrong password, it won't accept. Click on enter the correct password. Yes, you can see the password change successfully. And now one more section is contribute. So this is just to contribute into the project. You can pull, you can create a pull request after following the instructions down here. This button leads to my project. You can see over here the GitHub repo. And we can go back to the dashboard. So yes, I have shown almost everything. One more thing left to show is the import functionality. Okay, as I've exported it and we have downloaded it as in 11 state, so we just log out and create another email address. Also, there exists a forgot password functionality, so in case if you forget a password, it sends you a reset link to your Gmail, which you can then check and then click on the link to reset your password. As you can see here, so we got a link to reset your password. Now, I would like to show the import feature. So let's say I log in, I create an account with an institute email ID. The same process again. So let me just verify my mail in the background. There we go. Now press on this link and my email has been verified. Now let's switch back to our page and refresh it. Here we go. Now as I've shown, let's try to do a select star from movies command to show the user independence. So as we can see, there is no such table called movies. So this shows user independence. You can also not see the test theme which was saved in the other user. So now let's just import the schema. So we got movie schema over here, as we can see. So let's just try to run this and check what we can achieve. By observing, you can also see it's the exact same. So that instance got copied into this. And if you would have had another table, it would have just been appended as movies. Nothing would get replaced. So as we can see, the same instance has been recovered. The same process history, everything is the same. So to wrap up, SQL Playground is not just a project. It's a platform built for modern SQL learning. It combines best practices in UX, educational design, and software engineering. If you're a beginner wanting to learn SQL or an advanced user looking to practice in a clean visual interface, this tool has you covered. My project, Playground, is open source and I welcome contributions from the community. You can find the repository on GitHub where I've documented the setup process and architecture. Thanks for watching and feel free to check out the GitHub repo or reach out with suggestions.